Hey, yo, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Yehoshua, this is Sounds from YYBY. So let's talk about it.
The 12 tribes. Ooh, oh, oh, the 12 tribes. Yeah.
All right, so now, the last few days, man, I really been in my bag just messing with the Windows 12, uh, just random dolls. I always test things out, and like I was saying, like I do classes, with dolls, with people and everything. So I was testing a lot of things out, right? From Ableton Live, not Ableton Live, but Bitwig, um, Magic Samplitude, you know, um, what is it? Reaper, Studio One, and what I noticed, man, is that we know that the sample rate is very important when you're recording vocals or you playing instruments, and we know that the sample rate has to be low, man. Whatever your computer is good at, the average person probably put it around 128. I'm sure that's like the average spot. 64 based on your computer, you're gonna meet a lot of crackles and issues, and if you go to 32, you might have some serious problems. And we know that the lower you go on the sample rate, right, is that you will have problems with CPU shooting up everywhere based on the quality of your computer. And I got a pretty nice fast computer, man. I put money into. But so with the sample rate, it's gonna go down. You're gonna have good latency. Not latency, but the timing would be perfect through the headphones, saying something through the mic and playing the music. But based on your template or what you got set up, you might run into a lot of crackles or CPU issues. You shouldn't though, but definitely you won't have no latency. So it's kind of hard for most people to use their computers on 512. 512 and up and all that. They start changing to those numbers when they start mixing and mastering, right? Me, I'm a person where I like to test a DAW to the extreme to see what it really do. When without me going out the way of trying to do certain things. And what I mean by that is this, like, I will keep my DAW at 512, mixing and recording. Yes, I want to do that. That'd be my mind. I don't want to change it. Whatever I set it to, I don't want to change it. Unless I'm forced to change it to that point. It's kind of like, look at this situation like, I don't like to bounce my instruments into audio. I don't like to bounce my instruments just to save CPU power. I like to go back and tweak my stuff. I don't want to change nothing. I shouldn't have to do none of that. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying that when I'm creating, man, I don't want to bounce no instruments and save no CPU power. I want to be able to work, man, and change things, keep going, boom, boom, boom. But this is the part that I noticed though. In every other DAW, when I use 512, it's always latency. It don't sound right. Y'all know this, right? It's latency. I'm playing the instruments. You can hear it. You can feel it. It's annoying. Even if an artist recording it, it's a problem. But when I'm in Reason Studio 12, and I keep it on 512 like I always do, let me tell you, I have no issues. It's no latency, man. It sound good. No artist complain about its latency, or I can't really hear myself, or I don't like what's coming back. It sound good. I test it through the mic all the time. The quality that's going through it sounds so good. It sounds so good. But there's no latency playing on the instruments. Everything is on point. You like I say, when it's off. You know when it's not right. When you start hitting those keys and those drum pads, if it's not good. If it's not right. You're like, nah, that's not right. I'm not feeling that. It's throwing me off. Same way with the vocals, saying something through the mic, coming through the headphones. It's throwing you off. It does not throw people off. And I can mix and damn near add, so many instruments on a beat just at 512. I never have to go up. I never have to go down. I can stay at 512 because I feel like we know that the lower you go, the less things you can use. So you want to try to be at the highest point and without having none of those problems. That is the most, that's what a person wish for. If they could be like at 1024 of sample rate and without having no latency and with no CPU issues, people would love to do that. But we know that you can't do that, right? And I learned in short words, like I was saying, in every other DAW, when I put it at 512 or 212, I think it's 212 or 120, like 512 or 212, I think the one that's under that at the 512, I think it's 3 or 4 or something like that. When I use those, it's latency issues. But when I go inside Reason, man, I don't have that problem. Y'all tell me what it might be, what y'all think it might be. No, I get it. Everybody this is my experience. I get it. Everybody have a different experience with this. They might say different. They might say, well, Studio One, I don't have those issues in Studio One. But when I use other DAWs and I test them out, recording vocals and playing beats and all that. Now, Studio One is the second one. I can have it at 512 and not really have those issues. But we're using the Windows, Cubase, when I'm using Bitwig, when I'm using some of these other DAWs, it's an issue. The latency, you hear it. You hear it. And I'm also tell y'all another thing, what I noticed also between Studio One and Reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe y'all can tell me, but this has been for years. When I'm setting up my recording, when I'm about to record inside Studio One, man, it seemed like the vocals is, when you say something in the mic, when you do a mic check through the vocals, through the microphone, it seemed like the vocal just always sound way back. They sound very low, regardless of how much you boost them up. Because you don't want to boost them up too loud where they peaking, but you want to boost them up a proper way. And it's just seemed like this is certain sound where the vocals is always just drowned out when they come in. Just original clean setup. I'm not talking about, you might got a little, I normally have like a little bit of light compression, certain setting and stuff like that, but nothing else. Based on the artist, I might EQ the highs off for artists, stuff like that. But when they coming through, when you testing and you raise the beat at the proper level, it sound like it sound different. But when I'm in Reason, it's like the vocal just sound like boom, right in your face, punchy. I'm using the same audio interface, the same settings, the same everything. If y'all know what that is, have you ever noticed that? Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever experienced that? If you have, jot down at the bottom what you think it is, what it could be, or maybe I'm bugging out. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging out, but this is what I noticed for like the last, since version 3 of Studio One. Since version 3, I had every version, but since version 3 of Studio One, it just sounds like it's sit way back, it's drowned, it's not in the forefront of the vocals. I don't get it when it first coming in and you hearing it through the headphones. It's weird. It seems like you have to really boost it up on a whole nother level. But when you're inside, Reason, it don't sound like that. It sound punchy. It comes out, So yeah, let me know, brothers and sisters. This is YYBY. Peace.